This is the result of months of planning, creativity, and patience. But how did we get here? Let me take you back to where it all began. In 2020, I made a purchase that would spark something far bigger than I imagined. It was a 1972 Honda XL250, a vintage machine that seemed to carry its own story written over decades. I had wanted a motorcycle for a while, but when I saw this one, I just knew I had to have it. The vintage aesthetic, the history embedded in its frame, and the fact that it still ran made it impossible to ignore. I brought it home not knowing how much it would teach me. Over the years, I wrote it, worked on it, and worked on it some more, learning more than I ever expected from this old bike. What I didn't realize was that I was also beginning to write a story in my head, a story where this very bike was at the heart of something much bigger. As a kid, I was always curious. I loved creating, building, and dismantling anything I could get my hands on. My dad's tools were my playground, and while it sometimes drove him crazy, those moments became some of my favorite memories. It was in that spirit of curiosity that this story began to take shape. I imagined a young kid wandering into his dad's garage, a dusty, forgotten place where time seemed to stand still. In the middle of it all was something hidden under a sheet, waiting to be discovered. The kid pulls back the cover, revealing an old motorcycle. He doesn't know much about it, but he feels the need to bring it back to life. From there, he's hooked. He starts tinkering, flipping through the manual, trying to understand every bolt, every part. He gets to work wrenching away until he's ready. Finally, he jumps on the bike, kicks it over, and the headlight flickers on with the roar of the engine. The screen fades to white. The end. To me, this was a story that was very close to my heart, and it was just too good not to make. It was the kind of project that I really needed to test myself with, especially because I was exploring more with cinematography and lighting. So I dove in.
All right, everybody, so this is my 1972 Honda XL250. I bought it a few years ago, and it's in pretty good shape considering how old it is. It has ran very well for a long time, but most of the time when I wait about a year and a half to start it, it does not start very easily. Most of the time it's because there's bad gas and the carburetor needs to be cleaned out.
For the video, I needed the headlight to turn on, which meant the bike needed to be started. And the bike, well, let's just say it hadn't been started in over a year. Being over 50 years old, I just knew it wasn't going to be easy.
We're gonna drain the bad gas, put new gas in it, see if that works. If not, we're gonna take apart the carburetor and clean it out, probably replace the spark plug, and that should allow us to start it.
But the challenges started almost immediately. Now, if you know anything about motorcycles, you know that the carburetor is like the heart of the bike. When something's wrong, the first place to look is the carburetor. And with the carburetor, there's no quick fix. It's just trial and error. Adjust, reassemble, try again, and repeat.
All right, let's try it now.
The smallest change can make a big difference, so you can't rush it. I underestimated just how much time this process was going to take me. And keep in mind, I had an entire set to design and cameras to set up to really get an idea of what this whole thing was going to look like.
This thing does not want to start. I shouldn't have jinxed myself.
"13 attempts later, the bike finally started to sputter to life.
Hallelujah. Holy crap. The RPMs are super high. And it's smelling a little rough, but I got it started. That's all we need. We just need the light to turn on.
With the bike running, it was finally time to set up the chute.
So first things first, just kind of getting everything set up right now. Creating our set and then lighting it. And then we can actually get to the filming part. So let's do it. So I'm thinking that I'm going to use mostly this corner here. I brought my lamp to sort of add a little bit more warmth to the scene. And that is gonna go over here. Perfect. All right, we're using the Amaran 60X to light this. I'll have a softbox I'm gonna put on it. And we're really just trying to give the appearance of like an overhead light. We'll see how that looks. I might try and hide it as best as I can, but I don't know for sure yet. Let's test it out. Whoa. Okay, it works. All right, we are ready for our first scene. I set up this tube light set to orange, like a warmer tone, to motivate for this lamp a little bit more and add a little bit more warmth. I added another tube light back there to add some light in the background, give it some depth. And then of course we have the Amaran 60X right up there. And it's looking good. It is 11:30. It's about to be 12 a.m. Let's just get it done.
As I started recording, I realized just how difficult this was going to be. I was juggling everything, lights, camera, bike, and I was also the one in front of the lens. On top of that, I used a camera slider to add some motion to the shots, which made things 10 times harder, but totally worth it in the end.
I'm literally taking a ton of shots because I don't want to mess this up. The one thing I really struggled with was not having a solid shot list. I had an idea of what I wanted, but nothing concrete. By the end of the night, when I was exhausted, that lack of planning became a real obstacle. I was shooting on instinct, unsure if I'd even captured what I needed. It was frustrating after all that work I'd put into it, so next time I'll definitely be spending more time on pre-production. Guys, I am literally so tired and not even done yet. It is 1:04 in the morning. We just gotta keep going. We're getting pretty close now, I would say. I've got the main storyline pretty much done. It is 2:13 in the morning. I'm not tired at all. I think it's time we call it a night. I think we've gotten what we could with what we had, and I'm just too exhausted to even think straight. It is now 3 a.m. on the dot. Yeah.
Before I show you the final product, I want to share one last thought. This project taught me a huge lesson about following through on ideas. Too often as creatives, we let ideas sit in our heads, afraid to bring them to life. But leaving them dormant only leads to regret. We don't grow by thinking and planning, we grow by doing. There's a quote that I heard recently that I think sums it up perfectly. Move fast and break things. It's about not being afraid to try, fail, and try again, because eventually something will click. I always talk about it as if it's a dartboard and your ideas are the darts that you throw. The more darts you throw at that dartboard, the higher likelihood you'll have of hitting a bullseye. It's about not being afraid of missing, because every artist, every creative, anybody, inventors, entrepreneurs, they miss sometimes, but they get back up and they try again. And eventually they hit the bullseye. Anyway, without further ado, here's the final video. It's not perfect by any means, but I had a blast making it and I learned a ton, which in the end is all that matters. So check it out. The garage. A place where dreams take shape one wrench at a time. You see, there's something magical about bringing the past roaring back to life. It's in our DNA to tinker, to fix, to make things better than we found them. Every bolt turned and every gear aligned tells a story of dedication and passion. It's a symbol of hard work, of determination, and endless possibilities. It's not just a machine, it's a piece of history. A testament to craftsmanship, a reminder of those that came before. And when you bring history back to life, you're not just fixing it, you're reviving a legacy. Because every ride is a chance to create new memories.